Legends, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ruck Report. Ryan, have you got me, mate?
Oh, I do, mate. Third time is the charm.
Third time is a charm.
I
We
feel like we both dropped the ball here, isn't it?
we're really sorry for everyone that's been tuned in the past two times. Hasn't worked very well, but we are here now and we are ready to go. So let's try and go back all the way to Thursday night footy. Of course, Thursday night was Dolphins v Bulldogs, and what a game it was, mate. The Dolphins 44-8. Doggies, of course, top of the table, but this game they looked anything but. I was talking before, the first stream I did before you got on, but the Doggies actually lost a game earlier in the year around the same scoreline as well, around that 44-8 scoreline to the Bronx. So I don't know if it's wet weather footy because it was wet in that game too, whether they just can't play in the wet anymore. But, mate, what'd you make of the Dogs' performance in that game?
Yeah, hard to critique them too harshly, I guess. They have a number of players. I think it was like 9 or I think even 10. Their main starters were out, so like it was definitely an understrength team, but I guess you kind of expected more, Like, I mean, we all, I don't know about yourself, but most of us, everyone I know, has took the Bulldogs to win, but I don't know if you can really reflect and say like that's like that's what we're going to see from them kind of deal. But they kind of just looked flat, didn't they? Yeah, like they didn't have any answers to anything the Dolphins threw at them. Obviously Dolphins scored like 3 times in the last 10 minutes as well, so sort of blew the score out a fair bit. But it was still, I think they were in it right up to half time. Like it was sort of sloppy, it was scrappy, it was a wet game. Like I didn't really expect too much more, But regardless, I don't think there's time to ring the alarm bells yet. Like I still think they're still got plenty in them, and they'll be good to go when all their main starters are back. But what do you make of it?
Yeah, I have to agree, mate. I'm still a bit worried though because they haven't really beaten a top team that we've known over the past couple of seasons. I'm talking about a Melbourne or even a Penrith. I know Penrith aren't looking that good at the moment, but I want to see the Dogs really take it to a team like that. I know they've beaten the Raiders, who are up there. I know they've played some really good games, but if they're going to lose like this, I mean, both games that they've lost by almost 30 points. So, look, it's an interesting one for the Dogs. Shout out to everyone who is tuning in. Of course, Ben Cant 24, Bundy Malat, JTWY Man 21, Wendell Fell, Dan's jerseys, Jake Bryan 14, Bundy Malat said Cox were lucky, Sharks were due a loss. And then Can't said up the chook. So shout out to you boys. But
chirping off already.
We won't talk about that game yet. We'll jump into the next game, of course, the Eels v the Dogs. Please keep getting your comments in. We will answer as many comments as we can. Now, Eels getting it done, mate, 30-10. But what a game this one was. I mean, we all took Manly just based on Momax being out. No Zach Lomax, no Mitch Moses, no Cherry Evans for Manly, but they had Trbojevic, and I thought Tommy would really stand up in this game. Mate, Manly looked woeful.
Yeah, they were flat. They didn't really offer much in attack. Their kicking options were just poor, like the young, who's the, I wrote his name down, the Parramatta Eels halfback, he just out-kicked him, didn't he?
Jake Arthur. Hawkins.
Hawkins, that's the Dean Hawkins, He was dynamite. They didn't have an answer for his kicking game either. I thought Luke Brooks probably should have stepped up and taken the game by the horns. Like he's the experienced half, the journeyman, like the kind of journeyman half now, isn't he? Like he should be kind of taking those games on and not really so reliant on DCE. But it's obvious though, like that's what the team needs. They just work off the back of DCE like so much, but they didn't have an answer to anything. And Parramatta were just everywhere. Like they were better. They were better up the front. They smashed them through the middle, like even outside. Like they were all over them. Like the kicking game was perfect. I think they really showed up there. And poor old Manly, like it was a long night for him.
Mate, they booted Joash Papali'i, and he looked really, really good for Parramatta. Scored a try on debut as well, so he's gonna be an absolute superstar. I really like what I saw from Joash. Ben Cant just replied to Bundy Malat. He said, "You lost by 26 points to a reserve grade forward pack. Nico Hines should play NRLW, and Mark owns Mulatalo, the dirty dog." Oh well, we're gonna get into that game soon, boys. So get ready, save it for that game. But no, let's keep talking about the Eagles here. Now, I was really impressed. No Zach Lomax, no Mitch Moses to get it done. But with Manly, they've just been so inconsistent. They win some really good games and they lose some really good games, and it's just really hard to pick at the moment. Shout out to Luke, Melbourne Storm fan, who said hi, hello mate, how are you? But
G'day,
let's jump
mate.
into the next game. Of course, it was the Penrith Panthers against the Newcastle Knights. Mate, upsets galore this week. Uh,
Yep.
they took this game to Bathurst. Now, the Knights, no Caleb Ponga, no Bradman Best. Probably no hope, you would think, for
Yeah.
Newcastle.
No
Penrith were
worries,
about
apparently.
5
Yeah.
stars, but
Mm.
Knights still managed to get it done 25-6. Mate, what'd you make of the Panthers' performance?
It's terrible. Yeah. What
Woeful.
other word is there? Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably sitting with the biggest Newcastle fan that we know. Yeah, Blakey. He was chirping off at the end of the table there. We're actually at Panthers watching the game, so it was a very quiet affair down there. As you can
Oh,
imagine.
Blakey.
They had no answer, did they? Yeah, like Penrith are just shocking. Um, yeah, Newcastle played great. What's his name? Dylan Lucas. Yeah, 3 tries in
Yeah.
the first half. He's just dynamite. Yeah, they couldn't contain him. Just, he was everywhere.
Yeah, mate. I got to talk pre-game that he wasn't playing.
Yeah,
Mullen
yeah,
came out and said he wasn't playing, and then all of a sudden, Barry Toohey said no, he definitely is. So they had no idea. I mean, lucky he did. He scored 3 tries. Probably not
yeah.
lucky for
He's
Penrith.
awesome. Yeah,
Uh,
even Fletcher
mate,
Sharp had a brilliant game too at
yeah,
fullback. Yeah, I
fullback.
was like, oh man, it's a big boost to Phil, but not like Ponga's really been lighting the world, or setting the world alight really recently, has he? But still big shoes to fill, and I think he's done fantastic. Fletcher, I think, is brilliant.
It's a massive dilemma to have, isn't it? Because Fletcher Sharp's been fantastic at 5'8", and if
Mm.
you are listening, throw these in the comments what you think. But I think Fletcher Sharp needs to stay 5'8", Ponga at fullback. But it'd be interesting if Ponga does move on. Do they move Fletcher Sharp back there, especially even next year? If the talks are growing that Ponga is unhappy at the club and he's going to
Mm.
leave, do they move Fletcher Sharp and then you slot Dylan Brown straight into 5'8"? I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do with Fletcher? He's got to stay in the team. If Ponga doesn't move on and Dylan Brown comes in, like the
Yeah,
$2 million, yeah, they're not going to chuck them a reserve grade, are you? And
yeah,
you don't really
exactly.
want Fletcher Sharp sort of playing halfback, sort of steering the ship like that. I don't think he's got that kind of that structured kind of Cleary slash Moses kind of style to his game. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, they'll have 3 ball running playmakers, not really someone to sort of steer the ship there. So it'll be an interesting one to see how it unfolds. And I think you're right there. I think yeah, Ponga maybe he may be on his way out quicker than or a bit earlier than before his contract's due. So
He just seems unhappy, mate. He just seems like he doesn't want to be there at the moment. And I could be completely wrong. And if we do have any Knights fans that are listening, please put in the comments what you think. But for where I'm sitting, it looks like he's unhappy. I mean, Dongle, you're not a big fan of Newcastle, so you'd be happy about it.
no, I love Newey. What are you talking about? I want him again. They're not going to be my dung this week. Put it that way.
Oh yeah, hey, they can't be, mate. Let's jump into our next game, the game you don't want to talk about. Roosters v Sharks. Now,
Are you dropping out, mate?
Roosters,
I can't hear
Roosters, Roosters 42-16, mate. Look,
Wow.
let's start off with the elephant in the room, or the shark in the room, I should say, and that's you, mate.
Mm, yep.
Now, a full strength shark side coming up against a reserve grade Rooster side, 5 players
Yeah.
out for Origin.
Yeah.
Again, which has been the course of the Roosters season this year, is that people have written them off. Every
Mm,
time the Roosters are underdogs by $5 or more, they win. So
yeah.
again, they were about $5.50 heading into this game. No one really gave them a hope. They haven't lost at Gosford since 2019. I was at the game as well. Fantastic atmosphere down there at Gosford. 13,000. Great to
Mm,
see at my former home, of course.
yeah. Nice.
What do you make of, and a brutal, honest assessment? It's always hard to be our own
Yeah.
critics, but what do you make of the Sharks' performance?
That's typical Cronulla. Yeah. Like we go out last week and we peppered up Melbourne Storm in the first half in particular. Like they didn't have an answer for us, and we ended up winning the game. Yeah, like how do we beat
Yeah,
competition heavyweights in Melbourne? And then it's classic Cronulla. We go out against the team that we should smash and we should flog them, and it always happens. Yeah, they end up getting just pumped. Yeah, like so just frustrating to watch too. Yeah,
oh
like just
yeah, for sure.
any fan will tell you. Yeah, when your team's favourite to win, once you see him sort of start slipping off, then the silly mistakes come in. Ronaldo now is missing next week as well for his bloody shoulder charge he's done. Yeah, hard to watch, yeah. And then the other talking point, like a lot of fans are saying, like he's like Fitzgibbon's sort of assessment of the game, like he had the
Yeah,
quick 80-minute press conference, but he gave the usual, it's not good enough, we'll learn from this, we'll bounce back kind of thing. But like they should be winning those games. And the Hugo Sabala, his kicking game just shut, like that's Cronulla's plan, isn't it? Yeah, coming off the goal line, Kennedy, either winger, so Katoa, Stone Street, Mulatalo, or Harodi last night. Like they do the second or third hit up, and then like in come the Jesse Ramey and Kaolero. But even that, they didn't have an answer for that. They were shut down so quickly. Like they couldn't sort of get everyone back and like get the play happening again and sort of build from that. So we really were limited in the sense there. Yeah, like it was just a hard game to watch, and the Roosters just kept putting the pressure on. So just
yeah.
tough watching. Yeah, for a Sharks
That
fan, anyways.
that player you mentioned, mate, Hugo Savala. Savala, he was my best on ground. He was very, very good in this game. Just answer a couple of these comments. Rugby League Therapy Podcast said Newcastle Knights don't deserve their fans, to keep it short. Bundy Malat said Sharks choked like a white girl on a casting couch. Exactly, mate. You are correct in saying that. Look,
That is right. Bundy Malat. That's our Lucky Rockies winner, Brett.
Great. Oh, you're good mate of yours then. Brett?
Yep,
shout out to Brett. We love you, Brett. Mate, my assessment of the game, look, Roosters, I thought Victor Radley was really good in this game. He's 150th. I thought he did really well to shut the opposition down, especially someone like Adam Fanua-Blake, who we know, like we saw what Fanua-Blake did to Melbourne last week. Fanua-Blake carved up that Melbourne pack, but this week just couldn't get going. And I think that was credit to Victor there. And also Daniel Tupou, mate. I mean, Tupou against Harodi, Tupou was going to win every day of the week. So two tries out on that win.
Yeah.
He's about 7 foot tall. So shout out to Tubes, of course. He was fantastic on that wing. But, mate, my mate, Mark Nwanganitawaze, got another nice try and nice little flick pass to Dom Young for Dom Young to go over in his game. Every time Dom Young ran the ball, I was saying, hold it. And he did.
Yeah.
So,
I know. Of all the games, he's fixed his butterfingers. Of all the games that come good.
I was nervous. Shout out to Ben Cant 24. He said Teddy was man of the match, in my opinion, followed by Radley and Hugo. What do you guys think will happen with Sandon Smith and DCE? Well, I actually have some news about that. A couple of sources I've spoken to is that Sandon is off to the Cowboys in 2026. So the Roosters offered him another deal, and this was before the Cherry Evans stuff, apparently. The Roosters actually offered him a deal, and he turned it down. So all these people saying that, Sandon's leaving because DCE is coming, it's not true. Sandon had already turned the offer down from the Roosters, and it was something like 700 down or 650 or something like that. So for a young half, that's a lot of money, and he turned it down to leave. It's going to be a pecking order thing. He probably had a feeling that someone was coming anyway. So that's the news at the moment. It's not officially confirmed, and it won't be confirmed until Sandon mentions it himself. But at the moment, that's what I've heard. Sandon's off to the Cowboys in 26, and DCE will come into halfback at the Roosters. So I hope that answered your question, Ben Cant. But yeah, mate, a fantastic game for Chooks fans, not so much for Sharks, but looking forward to next week. You should be back in the winner's circle. And we're going to finish.
Of course we will.
We'll finish off the week with the Wars against the Raiders. Now, what a game this was, mate. Game it around for me. It was even all the way through. Raiders getting it done 16-10, but it was a story of penalty goals really early on. It would be 6-all, and then it was 8-all, and then it was 10-all. And then Raiders finally got so it just look, mate, crazy game this one.
Good game to watch, but like you said, the shit when they definitely didn't help. A great defensive game though, wasn't it? Yeah, like they both just really stuck to their guns and really defense is what got them over the line in the end. There were so many, like the game was pretty heavily penalised as well. Yeah, like there were like 5 or 6 set restarts I think in the first half that the Warriors had all the possession there and Canberra just held them out. It's usually a good indicator of who's going to go on and win the game. But once Canberra had the ball, they got down the other end fairly easily and scored, and pretty much dimmed all my hopes of getting a 1 from 5 this week.
Big fat zero, mate. Mate, it was
Yeah,
second versus third. Both these teams have
mm,
been doing really well. It was just building, I think, to a Wars loss. They've won 5 in a row heading into this game. Would have been their 6th win.
yeah,
Look, they're still going really well. I think the loss of Mitch Barnett and Fisher Harris was too much for them through the middle,
yeah. Yeah, they missed
and
out, didn't they? Yeah,
we should give a big shout out to Big Red, of course, Big Corey Horsburgh, getting sin binned and having an
yeah.
absolute tearjerker. And of course, Bundy Mallat said, "You guys see the spray from the Raiders winger to the crowd." And then Mick Makes Art said, "Oh, you're back. I thought the big sneeze disrupted the live feed. It did, mate. I sneezed in the first one and turned it off, but we are back and we're absolutely flying at the moment. So
Yeah,
don't
we're
even
good, mate.
mention that one."
Or the
But
second one.
yeah, or the second one. Third time's the charm, mate. But Bundy Mallat, yes, we saw the spray from the winger. It was from Joseph Tarpany,
It's
wasn't it?
Tarpane. Yeah, I
It
think it's
was Tarpany,
Tarpane.
not the winger at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He's doing
just
the tears, yeah, across the
the
river. Yeah.
crying. Yeah, channeling his
He
inner
was
Corey
great, though,
Horse from a
Tarpane.
couple of
Yeah.
years ago
Yeah. Big Red.
when he gave
Okay.
he cried and gave the finger to the crowd.
He was brilliant though, wasn't he? When he came back on, like he had a pretty long break, didn't he? At the end of the
Yeah,
first half, like he came back on late in the second, and he just tore him apart. Yeah, like
he's a good
he was
player.
massive.
He's a
Tarpane.
fantastic front rower.
He's such a good player. Yeah, you'd love to have
Yeah.
him, wouldn't you? Yeah, like on your team, like
Oh,
he's just excellent. He wears the Canberra jersey, like obviously on his heart. Yeah, like he loves it. So yeah,
yeah,
what
for
can I
sure.
say about him? He's too good.
But yeah, look, 5 awesome games. Shout out to Rugby League Therapy Podcast. He said, I saw the spray from Savelio Tamale. Rugby League needs new villains. I love it. Oh, okay. I didn't see that one. And then Bundy
No,
Malone
man,
said,
yeah,
that's Tamale. Yeah,
yeah,
so there you
okay,
go. I missed
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, there's plenty of villains floating around, isn't there? Yeah, but
Yeah,
Reed Marty was on fire again on
it's a heated game.
Thursday
Reed
night,
Martin's
wasn't he? Yeah,
always on fire.
he,
But
he
yeah, mate, look, that's it for the 5 games this week. Of course, heading into round 13 and Origin week. So, of course, Origin on Wednesday night. We are still recording at the same time tomorrow night. So make sure you do tune in when that episode drops. It's going to be an awesome episode. Dongle will be repping a different kind of garment on the Monday episode, which will be fantastic to see in video. I've watched it all for him, so it's ready to go.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah.
It's all right, mate. It's actually
Sharks
unworn.
fans when you're up there.
It's actually unworn at the moment, so you'll be the first person to wear it.
You won't
But
want
make
it
sure
back.
you do, make sure you do tune into that. But of course, this has been the Ruck Report. If we have no other comments, that is it from me. I'm Joey, the Prophet. That's Dongle. That's Ryan, the Dongle. Bundy Mallat did say Dongle does well in a mankini. Well, we'll have to see if we can get one. If you want to send pictures or a story through Bundy, we wouldn't mind that at all. But until next
grab
time,
another bottle opener.
yeah, exactly. Till next time, I'm Joey. That's Ryan. Be good.